I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now to the new developments in the Deflategate scandal with the Super Bowl Sunday just 1 week from today. The Patriots coach calling an impromptu, bizarre press conference sounding more scientist than coach. ABC's Lindsay Jan is here to break it down for us this morning. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Paula. Bill Belichick says he spent the last week conducting an internal review of his team's process of breaking in their footballs, and he gave several potential reasons why they may have become deflated. But this morning, some now asking, was he trying to blind us with science?
This morning, Patriots head coach Bill Belichick confident his team didn't break any rules.
He has an organization that absolutely followed every rule to the letter.
In a surprise news conference Saturday afternoon, Belichick finally ready to explain how he thinks 11 of 12 Patriots footballs got deflated in last Sunday's game against the Colts.
Touchdown! Climatic conditions, air pressure, equilibrium state, atmospheric conditions.
Sounding more high school science teacher than football coach.
The preparation of the ball caused the ball to, I would say, be artificially high in PSI.
Belichick talking about how rubbing footballs to break in the leather affects their air pressure once the team takes the field.
It reached its equilibrium at some point later on, an hour, 2 hours. That level was below what was set in this climatic condition.
Belichick's dissertation earning him an instant new nickname, Bill Belichick, the Science Guy. But we asked the real science guy, Bill Nye, what he thought of his new competition in the lab.
I'm not too worried about Coach Belichick's competing with me. What he said didn't make any sense.
And Nye says, equilibrium or not, the explanation falls flat.
Rubbing the football, I don't think you can change the pressure. To really change the pressure, you need one of these, the inflation needle.
Our science expert admitting he left out one crucial bit of data.
I cannot help but say, go Seahawks!
Belichick saying he's also moving on.
This is the end of this subject for me for a long time.
While saying he understands it's important, Belichick also saying he's embarrassed about the amount of time he's put into Deflategate relative to preparing for next weekend's Super Bowl.
5 weeks into winter, the Northeast got its first real taste of it today. While it was a few inches of snow and slush in the New York City area, parts of New England got a foot of snow. And just as this system clears out, a major winter storm may well be moving in. Eric Fisher is chief meteorologist at our CBS station in Boston, WBZ. And Eric, whatever people are dealing with in the Northeast today is nothing compared to what's coming.
Just an appetizer event. It's been a nearly snowless winter for a lot of those Northeast cities. Things about to change in a big way. We're tracking an Alberta Clipper. It's going to slide on off toward the east through Sunday, spread snow across Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then move toward the mid-Atlantic as we head into Monday. Snow totals to start here, up to a half foot possible. Even some snow that will make its way down into Kentucky and Tennessee, maybe even North Carolina as we head into Sunday night. However, as this moves toward the coast, it really starts to crank, and we're looking at potentially a major nor'easter, something we have not seen much of at all this winter, highlighting major snow around down East Maine, down through Boston, New York City. Need to monitor this storm carefully. Really looking at the time frame Monday through Wednesday here, Jim. So it's a storm that won't just move on by. It's going to stick around for a while with strong winds and the potential for coastal flooding.
Eric Fisher with the weather picture. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Elliot, and this is Mental Floss on YouTube. Today, I'm going to talk about some misconceptions about cleanliness and germs. Misconception number 1, the 5-second rule. If you've been to elementary school, and I hope you have, I'm sure you've heard this one. Some claim that if you pick up food off the ground within 5 seconds of it being dropped, it's germ-free and safe to eat. There have actually been scientific studies on this, and they found that bacteria does make its way onto food immediately after it hits the ground. It is a smaller amount though, so the sooner you pick it up, the less bacteria it will have, and the surface that it's dropped on does make a difference. There's less bacteria transfer from a carpet than there is from a smooth surface. But the germs aren't like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because they can't. They don't have that kind of self-control. Misconception number 2, soap kills germs. Soap is actually a surfactant. So when you wash your hands, you combine soap with water, then surface tension decreases. This allows for the bacteria to be released from your hands, then they just go down the drain. They go, ah, like that. Misconception number 3. Viruses stay alive on hard surfaces for a long time. It's normal to be a little weirded out about touching things like doorknobs and railings in public spaces, but the truth is viruses and bacteria do die on hard surfaces. How long they stay alive depends on the specific type. The flu virus typically only survives between 2 and 8 hours, and the cold virus lasts longer, but it's unlikely to get you sick after 24 hours, and the herpes virus dies after 4 hours. Misconception number 4, urine disinfects burns and stings. Urine is not a disinfectant. See, aren't you glad you watched this episode? In fact, a 2014 study conducted by the Loyola University Health System found that there's actually bacteria in healthy human bladders. So not only is your urine not a disinfectant, it's also not that safe/sterile in general. Speaking of toilet stuff, misconception number 5, the toilet seat is very germy. Well, it's probably not like the cleanest place on earth, but you're unlikely to get a disease from it. And it's definitely a misconception that you can contract an STD from the toilet seat. According to a 2002 University of Arizona study, there's around 49 germs per square inch on the toilet seat. Compare that with the around 21,000 germs per square inch they found on people's desks at work. Still, you shouldn't touch the toilet seat with your hand. Plus, the flush handle and other surfaces in the bathroom are even dirtier, so make sure you wash your hands. Why don't you just wear gloves all the time? Misconception number 6, everyone washes their hands. According to a 2013 study from Michigan State University, 10% of people do not wash their hands after using a public restroom. Gross! And that's here in a developed country where we have all the right resources. Hand washing can reduce the risk of diarrheal diseases, which affects 1.7 billion people around the world each year. A 2003 review of 7 hand washing studies found that if everyone did wash their hands, there would be between 0.5 million and 1.1 million fewer deaths from diarrheal diseases annually. That's insane. Misconception number 7, everyone washes their hands correctly. According to the same Michigan State University study that I mentioned earlier, 95% of people are not washing their hands long enough to get rid of germs. So let's take this into the bathroom so I can show you how to wash your hands. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is some clean water. It can either be hot or cold. I prefer tepid. You just lather your hands like this. Now, once you have your hands nice and lathered, you wanna do this for about 20 seconds. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that that length is about the same as singing Happy Birthday twice, which obviously I'm not gonna do because it's copyrighted actually by a guy named Tim Birthday. A lot of people don't know that. And also I'm a horrible singer. Then after you're done, you just rinse it like this. Huh? But you didn't know that. Turn off the water, that's important too. And then you dry off your hands. Thank you so much.
Hallelujah, girl said you hallelujah, girl said you hallelujah, cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you, cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you, cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot, don't believe me, just watch.